Mercury with Sun in the horoscope. Actually, more than half the population of the Earth has this combination, because Mercury is never too far away from the Sun, never more than a sign away from the Sun. So this will be relevant for most of the people who are watching this video. And to find out if you're one of those people who have Mercury and the Sun together, when they were born, when Mercury and Sun were together in the same sign, you can find out in my birth chart calculator, astrolada.com, for which I'm putting a link here, and check if you have this position when Sun and Mercury, which are indicated by the letter SU and ME, abbreviation of Sun and Mercury, if they're together in the same square or triangle, which means they're together in the same sign. So what happens then? Well, usually this is, in ancient astrology, was a combination for skillfulness and intelligence in whatever house these two planets are falling together. For instance, if they're in the first house, Sun and Mercury together, you need to know a little bit more astrology. The first house is the one indicated with the number 1. If they're falling there together, it means the person is quite intelligent and bright. If they're in the second house, the person can be very skilled in regards to dealing with finances and resources and managing such. In the third house, they can be really good for media, for communications, expressing themselves, for teaching as well. I have this combination, Sun and Mercury in the third house. In the fourth house, they can be quite practical and skillful in regards to fourth house affairs, which is home, managing home, property, hospitability, taking care. Fifth house is creativity. They might have a creative talent, can be quite skilled and good at this kind. Sixth house of fixing, improving things. Seventh house, relationships. They can be practical. They can be not only practical and skilled there. Eighth house is other people's finances and resources. Ninth house is high educational studies and culture. 10th house is leadership, ability and career overall. 11th house is it's a financial house, and it's also social house, so social matters. And 12th house is when they're together, one can be quite skillful in mystical things, in spiritual endeavors as well. But what does it also mean? Because whenever the Sun is with another planet in the same sign, we call that this planet is agitated, because the Sun burns everything. The Sun is the king. The king is best left alone, because anyone that is in the presence of the king can suffer. And Mercury is a planet of communications and expressing your requests, saying what you want, what you need, expressing it verbally. And it means that such a person, when the Sun and Mercury are together, will feel agitated and frustrated in communicating sometimes. Why does it happen? Because the Sun is some authority figure, usually from your childhood, someone who disrespected you when you made requests. Maybe you would go and say something, "Daddy, can I tell you a story?" And usually the Sun is the father, as I said. And the father would say, "Not now, later." Or it might be another figure in your life that was disrespecting you. You can see this by seeing which house the Sun rules, where Leo falls. Say, for instance, if it's the 7th house that the Sun rules, maybe your first impressions to your partners disrespected you somehow in you making requests and expressing your opinions verbally. So because of that, or if it's the Sun rules the 9th house, it rules the father or some teacher, the 10th house, some other authority figure, the 11th house, maybe some friends or older siblings disrespected you in regards to you making requests. The 4th house, if the Sun rules the 4th house, might be the mother, but some kind of a figure, some authority figure and powerful figure in the early life of the person disrespected when they made their requests, when they were saying their opinions, when they're expressing verbally what they thought or what they were expecting. So such people can later on in life feel agitated even before making such requests. For instance, they might find it hard going to the shop and trying to exchange a good, trying to look for their rights and return something and want their money back, or they would approach the person there, the cash machine or the cashier or salesperson, already angry because they expect their request to be denied somehow. Or for instance, your spouse, if he has moon and Mercury and the Sun together, might be like, when asking something to you, might be asking or agitated. My father has this combination, so he would always shout at us when he wants something. And actually, the closer the Sun and Mercury are together, you can see by degrees. There is a table below which shows exactly the degrees of these two planets. say if they're closer than 7 degrees, 7, 8 degrees, the closer they're within each other, we have then a combust Mercury, which is even more agitated and frustrated because the sun burns it powerfully. The person, almost like the mercurial abilities of the person, which is his ability to ask, to request, to communicate, feels almost like intimidated by, burned by this planet, the sun, feels almost obscure they were feeling. And that's why when they do requests, they'll feel agitated, they'll feel frustrated, they'll have a bit of anxiousness about it as well. And they can sound a little bit rough when they make requests because they already expect you to shut them down, because they already expect a failure in that area. So they can be a bit more anger. And you see so many people have this, more than 50% of human beings. That's why there's a lot of tension in human communications. That's why people often argue with each other and shout with each other. But Mercury, you know, it can be softened a lot by other influences. If you also have the Venus there, which is the planet of diplomacy and kindness. If you have Venus in the same square as the, or triangle as the Sun or Mercury, Venus will help this person be much more diplomatic, will help this person make requests much more nicely, even though they might still feel frustrated within. The outer approach will be somehow kinder. Thanks God I have Venus there as well, because I would be otherwise quite rude answering you if you are asking me questions that, you know, making demands on the YouTube. I'd probably answer a little bit more agitatedly. And the closer Sun and Mercury are together, the more person identifies a lot with their opinions, with their thoughts, and they might feel almost like threatened when someone contradicts them or when someone argues with them. So they try to, they might be one-sided and inflexible and difficult to change their point of view. And they might, you know, take it personally that you're attacking them rather than just not agreeing with their point of view, or not agreeing or not granting them their request, and they will take it personally. So they're more sensitive in communications. When Sun and Mercury are further than 10, 8, 9, 10 degrees, 12, the further they're from each other, the more person is objective in when they make those requests. They don't take things too personally in their communications as well. And actually, if you have Sun and Mercury very far away, 15, 20, 30 degrees is the maximum, such people have a brilliant Mercury, which means Mercury is visible. It's not burned by the sun. It's not close to the sun, so you can't see it in the sky, you know. And it's such people can be very rational. When you argue with them, they will not take it as a personal attack. When they make requests and you don't grant them to them, they will not take it too personally again. They will try and resolve it with talking through you rather than, but someone who has their Sun and Mercury very close will feel agitated. They would, the smallest not granting of their request, it can create tension for them and inner turmoil. And also, Mercury is our ability to manage things on a daily, everyday things. Like, say you want to make a project. The project is to make a video. You have to find recording. You have to order the recording equipment. You have to set it up. You have to learn how to talk in front of the camera. You have to learn how to upload it on YouTube. All those technical things, which is what Mercury does, which is how Mercury does the processes of doing something. And when it's close to the sun, such people might feel more agitated when they have to do such things, even though it's not a big deal, you know, but they'll feel like already frustrated. Oh, I have so many things to do. I don't know how to do all those little steps, even though they can do them brilliantly. It doesn't mean that you cannot do them. It doesn't mean you're not good at them. It's just how your mental approach is to them, how you feel about those things. So like me, I have a combust Mercury, which is close to the sun, 10 degrees. So I always freak out before I have to do something new, how the whole process will be. I worry, I can't sleep at night, you know, so there is a bit more agitation in regards to those Mercury things. And when Mercury is far away from the sun, then these people are brilliant at managing things, at arranging things, you know, so you like seeing Mercury more far away from the sun. But if it happens to be there, you just are supposed to live like that in this lifetime. Is the best ways to learn to make requests without being agitated, to talk things out through, not to take things too personally, to learn to be a bit more flexible in regards to your opinions, in regards to, it doesn't make someone very opinionated, it just how they feel when they express what they think. And sometimes they might feel as if the other person doesn't want to hear to them, doesn't want to listen to them, and they might want to talk very fast. They might not be very good, you see me talking very fast, because they feel like because someone used to disregard their communications as young, so they feel like I have nothing important to say, or why would anyone listen to what I have to say, so they have to talk faster, or they have to say it louder so others can hear them. Or sometimes they're not very good listeners, because what they'll do is they'll try and say whatever they have to say and not hear what the other person has to say. Again, I have an experience in my life with my dad. He's like a chatterbox. He just disregards you. It's not always like that. Sometimes it can play in a different way, that the person does not express what they think because they just don't want the aggravation and the agitation. But there is this kind of frustration a little bit around communication, and it's very common for a lot of people. It happens. For most of people it happens. But one thing, Mercury is not hurt by the sun when it's retrograde. It means if it has the letter R next to it, it does not hurt, so it's not so agitated by the sun then, because Mercury is much stronger. Mercury is 2-3 times closer to the earth when it's retrograde. It's exactly between the sun and the earth, so it's here, so the sun doesn't eclipse it, doesn't agitate it so much. Usually when Mercury is moving direct, which means you just have ME without the letter R below it, then Mercury is on the other side of the sun, and it's, you know, it's burned by the sun, as we say. But when Mercury is retrograde, these people don't have these issues, as I said, so much, you know, and they're not so agitated in making requests. They can say what they think, you know, and they will be quite practical, quite good with such practical tasks. They will not freak out when they have to do things like that. Again, as I said, if Venus is there, it will help a lot with those issues. Mercury is also our friendships. And when it's with the sun, often the sun is our ambitions and our goals and aspirations. So such people can lose friends throughout life because they don't feel like those friends support their goals or their ambitions somehow. So there can be some agitation in regards to friendship as well. Or such a person might not be, they might have very good friendship, but they might not, Mercury close to the sun might not ask for favors from friendships, might not might feel like the friends, like they'll be denied those favors from friendships, so they'll keep a little bit more, you know, careful around friends. But the combust Mercury can hurt friendships somewhat. Many people have it. Many people have friendships that fall apart, you know. And Mercury rules the breathing, rules the lungs. So when it's combust, such people health-wise should watch out because they might have asthma, some allergies as well connected to the breathing. They should watch out their lungs. They shouldn't smoke because the sun combusting Mercury can dry up the lungs a lot and can, because the sun is very fiery, and can create some health in regards to the organs that are ruled by Mercury. Mercury also rules the skin that covers us. Sometimes people who have sun and Mercury close, combust, can have skin problems as well, can have especially on the nervous, Mercury also rules the nervous system, so such people can tend to be a bit more nervous. I'm not saying angry or anything like that, but just more, the nervous system is a bit more delicate. So they have to watch the lungs, the skin, and the closer Mercury is to the sun, if it's not retrograde, the worse the problem can be with that, and the worse, the less objective a person can be, as we talked about, the not the physical manifestations in health, but how the person is much more identified with their opinions, with their thoughts, and how less flexible they are at meeting another's opinion, at being rejected something while communicating with another person, and creating these sometimes stressful situations in communications. But as I said, it's very common. It's part of human nature, I guess. This is how God created us. We were supposed to, you know, to learn, obviously, through these stresses in communications. So thank you so much, Mercury, Sun people. We are all there, I guess. And please write your comments. Thank you.